John Bentley.
What's up, Cowboys family? It's your boy Jay Tuck back with another Cowboys fan only episode. So you guys know the drill by now. Go ahead, comment, like, subscribe. Somewhere down there, somewhere down there, somewhere down there. Also, make sure, guys, appreciate all the support. Everyone following me at the website, cowboysfansonly.com. Everyone who's been purchasing the merchandise, I definitely appreciate it. I'm cooking up something real special for you guys here soon that I'll definitely release. And also, of course, follow me on Twitter at jtuck151. I follow all Cowboys fans back, the good, the bad, the ugly. But it's Friday, and you guys know the drill, what we do here on Fridays. We like to bring in Cowboys fans like ourselves. And when I created this channel, I wanted to be not about me, but to be about us. I know there's so many Cowboys fans I talk to on a daily basis that are just passionate about the team. So I always want to give them an opportunity to have their voice, share their frustrations, their concerns, their excitements, everything on this channel. And so on Fan Friday, that's what we like to do today. So with no further ado, I'd like to bring in a special guest from 41 Action News here in Kansas City, Dia Wall. What's going on, Dia?
What's up? What's up? I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on. Now, story about me and Dia, right? So I think it was about 4 to 5 years ago, about around that time. Houston's the restaurant closing. Houston's is my favorite restaurant that closed. So I tweeted my frustration about Houston closing. So Dia found me and was like, do you want to do an interview on the news? And so I came and met Dia. We did an interview about the closing of Houston's. I stood in that line for about 3 to 4 hours on that last day. Ate all my chicken tenders and steaks. That's another story. But when I was talking to Dia, she was like, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I was like, you are? And she's like, yeah. She's telling me how she grew up in Texas, which we'll get into. And so I knew once I finally had my show and my channel up running, I definitely had to bring her on. So Dia, welcome to the show. For the people who are looking to find you, learn more about you, where can they find you first?
So I work at 41 Action News. We're the NBC affiliate in Kansas City, but born and raised a Texas girl. You cut me, I literally bleed blue. And my desk even has a piece of one of my favorite Cowboys jackets that I got from my glory days working for the team that says property of Dallas Cowboys that is prominently hung. In fact, there have been people who have called our station because reporters do live remotes like in the newsroom and say, who's the Cowboys fan in there? And every time I'm like,
Dia.
Me.
And see, Dia's like me. We're Cowboys fans stuck in Kansas City right now amongst all this red Fridays, flags waving. In my neighborhood, there's Chiefs championship Super Bowl flags everywhere, but you see a blue flag in my house. So she's like me, so that's why I definitely bring her on. But you mentioned something interesting. For a lot of people who don't know, you said you used to work for Cowboys. So tell more about that story.
So I graduated in 2008, right?
Okay.
Height of the recession. And I interned in both news and sports. By the time I graduated from TCU, shout out to Texas Christian University,
TCU.
Go Frogs. When I graduated, jobs were just really limited. And because I had interned during Cowboy season, my senior year of college, my name just got around. And the Cowboys were looking to hire somebody, had me come in. It was kind of on a trial basis at first. I was like, I don't care.
Right.
Whatever it is,
what do you need? Exactly.
Ended up getting to work for the team for 3 fantastic seasons. Some of the best memories, some of the best people. I still keep in touch with everybody there. Right. Most times when I go back home to Dallas, I always make it a point to stop by. It used to be, Valley Ranch, but now it's the Star. They've upgraded since. Right. And so, yeah, man, it was really wonderful. And in my final season, I got to host Jerry Jones's show. And so I get to interview him every single week. And it was such an honor and a privilege to work for my favorite team in the whole wide world. I really enjoyed it. And those people are my family. So It was a one-of-a-kind experience.
Exactly. So you are one of the few people on the planet who gotten that close to Jerry Jones. So for a lot of people, they think about Jerry Jones from the outside view, but you were able to actually get close to Jerry Jones. So tell us, what is Jerry really like when you get that close to him?
Jerry is cool. It's so funny because I think that because I work in news and I'm used to interviewing people, I'm used to kind of what covering someone looks like. It's different when you're around somebody when they're not on, so to speak. And so for me, he would come once a week and we would do an interview. We'd have a set list of questions. There wouldn't be a ton of surprises. Let's keep it real.
Exactly.
But I love to tell people my favorite Jerry Jones story. So there was one time he was coming to tape his regular show and we had done all this prep work and got everything ready. And it was somebody's birthday. And we had this Costco cake. You know the Costco cake.
Right. Yeah.
So the cake was like on this front table thing, when you walked into the TV department at Valley Ranch. So Mr. Jones comes in, we sit down, we do the interview, we walked out and I saw him. I promise you, he comes out, he's walking, you got to walk past the table with, a little Costco cake. Stop, backed up, got a little slice, turned back like I love this, and walked out. I mean, when I tell you, Jerry has this really amazing quality where he can make you feel like you're the only person in the room. Gotcha. And I know that you see a little bit of that loyalty for him with his players. Another fun fact about Jerry, a lot of the people who work for him, I mean, even when I was with the team, he has the same receptionist, right? Miss Marilyn, she's been with him forever. Rosie, his security guard, has been with him forever. I mean, since his days in Arkansas. And I always tell people, you can look at what someone is like by the longevity of the people around them.
Exactly.
And so I think that that's a real testament to Mr. Jones, but he is phenomenal. The family's great. I would say Jerry Jr. is the funny one. He's kind of like, the life of the party. Stephen is definitely more reflective, much more calculated. Charlotte is fabulous. And Gene, of course, is just always kind of that steady presence. I think that keeps Mr. Jones in line, to keep it real with you.
Yeah, see, people, I tell people all the time, Jerry Jones is a salesman. He's a charmer. Like, even when I watch interviews and the season's going poorly, and I tweeted this the other day, the whole situation when Tony Romo was hurt and Brandon Wheaton was going to be our backup quarterback, and Jerry Jones came out and said, Brandon Wheaton has one of the best arms he's ever seen in football, and he winked to the camera. I started believing, like, okay, we got a quarterback. We're okay. And so that's just what Jerry is. I mean, he's a charmer, but a lot of people share that same sentiment when it comes to Jerry Jones. He's just a very personable person. I think sometimes the outside point of view can kind of paint him as the evil villain, but you hear all the players talk about Jerry and how they love working with Jerry, from Emmett to Dez to the list goes so on and so on. So yes. A lot of people really, really like Jerry Jones and his personality, what he brings as a person, not just as an NFL owner. So you mentioned that there was a lot of memories when you worked for the Dallas Cowboys. So what is, besides the Jerry Jones situation, what was one of your favorite memories?
Oh gosh, there are so many. So when I started working there, I was 21, right? And everybody knew me kind of as the chick who was not the glamazon, right? You work for a team,
right?
You're around professional athletes,
right?
You know what that comes with, right? So
exactly.
You see a lot of glitz, a lot of glam,
right.
A lot of 18-inch heels and all that crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm gonna roll this cable. You need to get this tripod. You need me to get this gear. I got you.
Right.
What you need? We need to interview with someone. I would track their tails down.
Right.
For me, it was always about the work. I always felt like if I worked hard and proved myself, then I would be respected. And it turned out to be the case. So one of my best buds on the team was Andre Gerard. He was the center when I was there. Fantastic player, but he would play all these practical jokes on me, man. It would be, I would be coming back from open locker room. We would get interviews and stuff like that. He would TP my desk. They would grab my car. I mean, they would do all kinds of foolishness.
Right.
But we just had a lot of fun. I think that I remember training camp, riding around on the back of the golf cart. There was one season where I would do all these interviews and I would just say, hey, hop on the back of my cart. I'll give you a ride back to your room. And we would do interviews like that with just a GoPro and talk to them about their day and what had been going on and what they thought we should be covering that we weren't. And I love Tashard Choice. These are going to be some names that probably would be very little to folks.
So some of the kids were probably like, who is she talking about? Like Tashard Choice, Andre Gerard. So
one of my favorite personal stories, I was thinking about cutting my hair. I'm a Black woman. I'd relaxed my hair for forever and I wanted to go natural, right? And I wanted to just buzz it, rock it short and curly or whatever. And I remember I was talking to a few of the guys. They clowned me. And I have all brothers. So
so you're used to it.
Yeah. And I remember I was out getting up, going for a run early one morning, and Dez Bryant, one of my favorite men to ever wear the 88. Do you hear me? I stand by Dez.
I stand by Dez too. Dez ride or die.
He told me, he was like, "Dave, you want to cut your hair? Forget what they talking about. Cut it. You'll be beautiful no matter what." And walked off. And I think that it is so easy going back to for people to become villainized when it's the media or a perception, and I hate the term the media. Okay. Say the institution you mean.
Right.
This podcast, this radio host, this TV anchor.
Don't lump everybody in as one as the media.
Exactly. But Dez has done so much out in Lufkin, where he's from, in East Texas, hosts a big barbecue once a year, buys all this food and clothes and shoes for the kids and plays games. Those oftentimes are deposits that they make out of the goodness of their heart that people don't really get to see.
Right.
And I can think of so many great memories. Jerry always hosts a media party, for everybody covering the team at training camp. And so we would go out, Jerry would buy, a few beverages, just a few.
just
and he always, and then the epic Christmas parties. That's one of the best things about working for the Cowboys.
So give a little insight to the Dallas Cowboys Christmas party, because a lot of people watching this channel right now will probably never have access to that, including myself. Maybe one day, but
it's fun. It's always at the stadium, top of the line. There's food and there's drinks, and they have great entertainment. And the really cool part about it, you have people who work at the stadium. You have people who work, at the facilities. You have coaches. You have players. You have the Jones family. Mm-hmm. It's literally everybody. And you're all in a room together, just mm-hmm. having drinks and having food and talking and catching up. And it's such a jovial atmosphere. I think that the Jones family really wants to have that family atmosphere and environment. Mm-hmm. And it really comes through. They also, before like the adult Christmas party, they host an amazing party for the staff and their kids.
That's crazy.
They have the best children's Christmas party on the field at the stadium. And some of those memories, I got to work a couple of those because I hadn't had kids yet. Mm-hmm. And it's just really magical. They get the best Santa there is. And
I'm sure Jerry's going all out. Jerry Claus.
100%. And I think that little things like that are why, the TV department where I came from, mm-hmm. I want to say there are people who have been there 20 and 30 years at this point.
Oh, wow.
And so I always say, if you want to measure leadership, look at longevity. Look at the people around them. And I loved my time working for the Cowboys.
Perfect. We have a lot of questions in the chat. Shouts out to my guy, the Lunatic. He's wanting to dive into this season. We'll get there. Hi, what's up to my guy Sid, man? What's going on, bro? So Dia, I have Eagles fans who constantly watch my show. I appreciate their support, but they're in the chat. We're not going to pay them any attention right now.
Although I'm happy y'all finally won a Super Bowl. I am, and I don't say that with any shade. I rooted for the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
How could you?
Because we had 5. They had none.
I couldn't do it. I felt sick to my stomach. And the hard part, it was like the lesser of two evils, because I didn't want New England to win, but I didn't want Philly to win. So the one time I was pulling for New England.
But how can you not root for Nick Foles, man?
Because he's with the Eagles. It's just
That's true.
I couldn't watch the confetti drop. I turned it off. I couldn't see it. So shouts out to my guy, the boys, 2138 said, "What's up, Tuck? Who is this beautiful young lady you have on today?" So this is Dia Wall. She is here in Kansas City, 41 Action News. She's everywhere, all over the TV screen. But she used to work for the Dallas Cowboys in the media, so she was telling us a few stories about that. So when it comes to Dallas Cowboys history, who was your all-time favorite player?
Listen, you're not going to put me on the spot like this. This is very hard. Okay?
Well, because you mentioned some interesting choices, and you're around the guys, and so, but there has to be one. When you think of
one?
Yeah, one. Just one. You can't.
It got to be Mike Irv.
Mike Irvin.
I have an affinity for men who wear the number 88. So Michael Irvin's my dad's favorite Dallas Cowboy of all time, mine as well. I think that I like that combination of I'm going to go out here and I'm just going to dominate you, mm-hmm. and I'm going to do it with a little flair. Right. I like a little trash talk. I like a little inspiration in there. Right. To me, I want to hear you out there.
Exactly.
So I love that, and I also think you felt his presence mm-hmm. even when he wasn't on the field. And so Mike Irv definitely has to be number 1. I also think that Aikman.
I'll let you go. Yeah.
Aikman is a close second.
Aikman, okay, yeah. So I mean, I go back and forth, but you see the hat that I'm wearing. I'm a Dez guy. So you mentioned 88.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on CeeDee Lamb, the new kid wearing the 88? Do you think he's going to be able to carry the torch? Okay.
I do not think he has been properly utilized this season.
Okay.
To this point, right?
Okay.
I know that they want him for his big playability and that explosiveness, mm-hmm. but I don't like to see my number 1 receiver returning kicks.
Exactly. See, everybody was on me the other day, like going the off season. I did not want CeeDee Lamb returning punts by any, just put someone else back there. It's too much of a risk. He's too big of an investment. Exactly.
You see people folding up like houses of cards out here.
Well, last game he got tackled on a punt, and we all saw it, and his leg folded, and my heart just sunk. I'm like, what else could go wrong this season? And so I'm fully over the CeeDee Lamb returning punts, because they tried it with Dez. Dez was a punt return too as well, and then he got injured doing it. Just no.
Go get somebody young, cheap, late round who got something to prove. That's who you put back there to return the kick.
Exactly. So I have to ask you this question, because like I said, you're in Kansas City, And I see what my guy Brian B. Shine and how he treats my guy Playmaker. I'm gonna bring Playmaker on here soon. But how was it during the whole Chiefs Super Bowl, situation? Were you happy for the home team? Did you wear your red? Because you did. Okay, so you support it.
So let me just get everybody up to speed, okay? So I work in Kansas City at 41 Action News, right? We are the home of the Chiefs.
Right.
And I'm a big proponent of I need the local team to do well. Right. I want the Chiefs to be successful. Unless you're lined up from a star, then all bets are off, baby.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it. They already know where I stand.
Okay.
If you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, from the moon, you already know what my team is. But I love football as a sport, NFL in particular. And I mean, let's keep it 110. Mahomes is a Texas kid too, so they can talk all that trash they want.
And he's a Cowboys fan too, so
he's also a Cowboys fan. Yeah. Let's keep it all the way live.
Right.
So for me, I always want to see the Chiefs do well. Yes, I root for them. I cheer for them. The Cowboys, the season had already ended.
Right.
So I was cool with that. And I want to see them win. I want to see them be successful. And since I'm a journalist in Kansas City, I get to see all the stuff they do in the community, man.
Right.
So I have a certain affinity for the team. I want the Chiefs to, again, do well. They came from Dallas as well. I mean, I'm just saying,
they come from us. So
I definitely, the Hunt family still lives in Dallas. We could go all day. Exactly. But my point is, I personally, yes, I want to see the Chiefs do well. But I always tell people every Sunday, y'all need to know, I root for the Chiefs, but I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
So I think next year, if I'm correct, we come to Kansas City. So yes. We'll be able to wear our blue and silver and be in peace. But like I said, for me personally, I like the Chiefs. I went to the AFC Championship game. I watched the confetti drop to go to the Super Bowl because a lot of my good friends, they're big Chiefs fans. And like I said, you really can't hate Pat Mahomes. Plus, he brought us a Whataburger. Like, how can I hate the man after he brought us a Whataburger here in Kansas City? Look, so if you're able to get a hold of Pat Mahomes, just tell him to put a Houston's back on the plaza too.
I'm trying to tell you, the Hawaiian ribeye. Just bring me the smoked salmon and the Hawaiian ribeye.
Exactly, Pat Mahomes. Bring a Houston's back to Kansas City, and then we're all good. We're all good. But this year's Chiefs team, they're hard to root against. Like you said, they do a lot here in the community. Alex Smith was another guy who I met a few times who did a lot of great things in the community. So it's kind of hard to not to my stadium. Like I wear that to any stadium, so it is.
Let me say this because I'm not on the air. I love Brian. We are great professional friends, and he knows the position that I am in, right? So I'm the evening anchor for the home of the Chiefs,
right?
But I'm gonna put it to you like this: the Cowboys could go 0-16. More people will still watch us. Okay.
Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm gonna bring Brian on my show because, like, Brian DJ'd my wedding. So me and Brian have been friends for years, and so we've been back and forth. And so I was happy for him. He got his Super Bowl, but now it's our turn. But now it's our turn. Now it's our turn. So speaking about our turn, what are the things? How are you feeling about this season thus far? Are you concerned? Do you think we're optimistic that things are going to turn around soon? What's your thoughts?
There's no consistency, right? That's the issue that I have. In the Jason Garrett era, the problem was we were too conservative. If I saw one more slot,
right,
I couldn't take it. Everything 15 yards and up. Like, I need one more consistency. Right. Let's start there. I understand wanting to take some chances, but some of the play calls have been a little suspect.
Yeah.
I think you have to make calculated and smart risk, but you say that, you make the call, you get the points, nobody's mad.
Exactly.
But whatever.
Exactly.
I want to see CeeDee Lamb get more involved. Okay. I think that's a huge one for me. Okay. I also want us to see Dak stretch the field. He has the ability to do it. And people who were talking about this past Sunday, my frustration was you can't compare Russ to Dak in that game. And Russ is back here like he just browsing aisles at Target.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And Dak is running for his life
no pressure.
On every play, and he still marched you down the field and put you in a position to win.
Right.
There's no reason you should have over 400 yards of total offense and not be in a position to win the game.
Exactly.
This is not college.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. The defense, stop somebody.
And I saw a lot of people, they wanted to criticize, but Dak receives a lot of hate, unwarranted hate, I say. For the loss last week, but Dak had 2 first-time tackle Terrence Steele played in his second game, but Brandon Knight was playing in his first game. And so there's a lot of, new tackles coming in. So Dak was constantly under pressure. And for him still to find a way to gather his feet to be able to perform the way he did against Seattle, and granted they did have some injuries, they still are a very talented defense with Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams and those guys. You definitely got to pay attention to him. The way he was able to propel this team and continue to fight. And I tell people this all the time with this Dallas Cowboys team, the thing that keeps me the most excited is that this team is showing fight. I feel like last year, the Falcons game, we got blown out. They would have been pouting, throwing helmets, thinking about what they're going to do after the game, talking about Wendy's chicken nuggets or whatever they were talking about last year. But this year, they're continuing to show fight. And I feel like that's what the Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff is starting to instill on this Dallas Cowboys team. Because we were talking about it earlier. You used to go to the old Texas Stadium. So when it was really a football team. And I feel like the Dallas Cowboys right now, you're starting to be more lunch pail, more blue collar. Just go to work every day, handle your business. And so hopefully things will translate this Sunday, which we'll speak about, and we can get back on the winning track. So how do you feel about, the wide receiver course? You mentioned CeeDee Lamb, but also with Amari Cooper and Gallup, and then also Cedric Wilson played big on Sunday. Do you think this is the new expectation for Dallas, or do you think we should start running the ball more?
Well, they weren't having a lot of success with Zeke. Right. I think they did a good job of keeping him contained. I'm curious to see how Zeke does against the Browns, only because they aren't great against the run. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the wide receiver core is strong. We have big playability. We have playmakers there. But you always know Jerry going to invest in some wide receivers because he likes the flash.
Exactly.
I think Zeke, we need to get more creative with how he's utilized. But it's going to be hard for him to, shoot gaps when there are no gaps because the offensive line's not playing well. And I know Dak came out and he was trying to save him, and that's all fine, well, and good.
Right.
He was running the entire game.
Right.
You got to be able to get some plays where you can get to the pocket, get 2 or 3 seconds so your receivers can get downfield for that. To your point, though, pressure and expectations are always high. Why? We're
America's team. And you mentioned creativity with the run game with Zeke, but like I said last week, Pollard too. I need to see a lot more Tony Pollard in the run game. And I know Twitter was kind of bashing me today about Tony Pollard, but I still think he's a tremendous athlete. He's a great asset to our team. I don't think he's just primarily a special teams guy. He needs to be involved to take some of those carries away from Ezekiel Elliott, because we want to make sure Zeke is fresh. We can't just run this guy into the ground week 4. Split the carries up, just like we're probably going to see Sunday in Cleveland, and we can get back on track. Let's see what's going on in chat right now. Shouts out to my guy, Nix. He said, what's good, fam? Mr. Personality, 1-6 last year against teams over 500. Didn't you guys just tie with the Bengals on Sunday? Come on, Philly. Come on, Philly. Don't do that. Don't do that. You guys haven't gotten a win yet. And here they are puffing their chests up. But I cannot wait till that Eagles game. We will address that bridge once we get there. So a few things have happened thus far this week, and we're just kind of go over high level. Tyron Smith, it looks like he's good to go. So I think that's going to help tremendously with the tackle position, the left tackle position.
Praise God.
Yeah, and so the right tackle position is still a question mark. I think it might be Brandon Knight. It might be Terrence Steele, but who knows? But we got to make sure that we shore that up, because we can't have Dak under pressure again.
Not with that.
Yeah, not again. Not with this D-line with Myles Garrett and those guys coming at Dak full tilt. Nah, not this week. David Irving, our previous defensive tackle, also he played here in Kansas City as well. I think that's where we got him from. He's pushing for reinstatement. Will he come to the Cowboys, guys? I do not know. I do not think so. I think the Cowboys are, over the project stage where, they already have Aldon Smith and Randy Gregory will be back. So I doubt you will see David Irving back as a Dallas Cowboy. And then DeMarcus Lawrence. Let me ask you this question. DeMarcus Lawrence, do you feel like he's given us enough, or do you need to see more from D-Law?
More.
I
feel like overall the defense is underperforming.
Okay.
Right? Well, let me back up. Smith is killing it.
Right. Aldon Smith. Yeah. Aldon Smith.
Yes. Off the chain. I'm so glad he's back.
Right. Right. Yeah. Even though he's a Mizzou guy, I really, it's hard for me to root because I'm in KU, but, Aldon Smith is definitely doing his thing, and he's stepping up in a major way.
I just want the secondary to step up, man. We got to start stopping these big plays and all of these near interceptions. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the running joke is you play secondary because you
can't catch, right?
I just some of these contested throws, we need to win some of those matchups, in my opinion. But I just need to see a little bit more, right? I haven't seen that. To your point, a little more blue collar, yes. But I want you to come out and punch somebody in the face.
Exactly.
I want you to come out, get a fast start, exert your will. Exactly. That's what I want to do.
Exactly. Play with a sense of urgency. That's one of my key takeaways to win this game against Cleveland, which we'll talk about. But for DeMarcus Lawrence, guys, what I was saying on Twitter, I was not bashing D-Law. I love D-Law. I think he's a great anchor for our defense. But what I'm trying to say is he needs to jump off the screen. Those key moments when it's 4th down or 3rd down, that's where the money for D-Law that he earned needs to come into play. It's not all about stats. I get that. It's not all about sacks. I get it. He has pressures and he's keeping his quarterback contained and different things like that. But when we need a play, that's when DeMarcus Lawrence needs to step up and make that play. And I feel like the next 3 to 4 games can give him that opportunity with Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones and those type of guys. He can start to get his feet and his momentum under him. I know he was standing up trying to play defensive end, but now he's getting back to, being in 3-point stance where he's comfortable. So hopefully we can get those pressures. But I just need to see more, guys. I'm not saying, he's trash and we should get rid of him. I'm just saying I need to see more because those past 2 years before he earned that money, he was jumping off the screen every Sunday. So we need that consistency from D-Law. And as you mentioned, the secondary is the big question mark.
Yes.
Which was one of the next stories. Mike McCarthy said it's more about lack of communication. So let me ask you this. Do you think let me ask you the question that always burns up the chat. So let me get your take on this. Earl Thomas, should he be a Dallas Cowboy or you're good on it?
I think I'm cool.
Okay. So,
chat.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
no.
Here's the thing. It's just about the Cowboys have been, and the season's short. We're only 3 games in, right?
Right.
But they have been in a position to win every single game.
Right.
So I don't think we need to add pieces. What we need to do is play clean football.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
That's it. Stop making mistakes. Even some of the drops, some of the key drops from receivers. I need you to just make the play. Right. I would like better play calling. Right. On some of those clutch moments. If we're going for it, 4th and 2, I need y'all to make this count.
Exactly.
You're trying to get
execute.
To tie the game. That's it. I don't feel like we have been playing so poorly, right? Or getting torched so bad in one particular area that we can't win.
Right.
That's not the issue. The issue that I see is just what you mentioned. D-Law, I need you to make a play when the team needs it.
Right.
Not on this 1st down.
Right. Exactly.
In the 2nd quarter. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. That's all I'm asking from D-Law. And yeah, Brian, like you said, clean up the mistakes and get healthy because a lot of people don't understand this. As bad as Cowboys fans, you've been around us long enough. You're one of us. We overreact. We overreact a lot. And so you really have to think about things in the grand scheme of things. We really could be 2-1 right now. I mean, because if we kick the field goal against the Rams and tie up the ball game, or they don't call that bogus pass interference on Michael Gallup, we beat the Rams. And so we're coming to Seattle.
Tuck, I'm going to have to stop you right there. If we get to talking about the penalties, it shouldn't come to that.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't come to that. It shouldn't come to that. But it did. It did. So it wasn't a penalty. It wasn't a pass interference. But like you said, you can't let the refs make that call because they're definitely going to come to that. But a lot of these games we're still in. Now, I tell people this. If this Sunday we come out at noon and Baker Mayfield goes off for 400 yards and, our defense doesn't step up, I think that's when Jerry Jones will be embarrassed at home in front of fans, and he'll make that phone call because he doesn't like that. Getting embarrassed at home, no, Jerry's not going to do that, especially by Baker Mayfield and the Browns. And so I think if something happens this Sunday, then Jerry might make that call. But I feel like when it comes to this Cowboys team, we do have the talent. It's really just that safety position really is a question mark. And so I'm not sure what they're going to do, but that's always been the question mark with Dallas since, Darren Woodson. Yeah. No safeties in Dallas. We just don't do safeties.
No.
So yeah, we need to play better for sure. I'm tired of hearing, oh, well, he's good against the run. Well, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Like, DeMarcus Lawrence is great against the run, and that is a part of aspect of being a defensive end and a defensive lineman. You have to be able to stop the run and the pass.
But it's a passing league.
Exactly. It's a passing league, but you really want to have that dual threat. And so I feel like I said, DeMarcus Lawrence was never a sack guy, except for those 2 years. He was franchise tagged, and then he, but people play harder when they're trying to earn their check. I mean, it's just human nature. And so that never was really his forte. But like you say, 4 sacks, 3 sacks this season, that's not going to cut it, because he got that money coming from a 14 to 11 sack season to a 4 sack season. Like, if DeMarcus Lawrence is putting up the same effort he's doing right now, and next year was his contract year, he wouldn't be a Dallas Cowboy. We would let him walk probably. And so that's the thing. It's like, that's what Jerry paid for. Jerry paid for the run game, but he also paid for those sacks. And so I'm hoping DeMarcus Lawrence can get things back on track. Like I said on Twitter.
Money. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I was saying, like I said on Twitter, he needs to go apologize to that kid from the Giants, because I feel like DeMarcus Lawrence last year disappeared after he told that kid wrong jersey, and that's the last we've seen of DeMarcus Lawrence. So he needs to go apologize, at least get the kid a Saquon jersey or something.
The juju away.
Yeah, exactly. That, or is that black cat that ran across the field? Something's been wrong with DeMarcus Lawrence ever since then. Let's see. Brian said no real OTA off-season workouts, no preseason, and brand new coaching staff and defense schemes. Let's relax. Yeah, like I said, it's going to take time to settle in.
We want it too.
Yeah, exactly. We want wins. Cowboys we want our Super Bowl now. We want to win. We're not trying to wait.
I told somebody, I don't care about winning one playoff game. Run the table. I have earned it.
We've earned it. And I know a lot of people here in Kansas City, they're waiting 50 years. I'm not waiting another 25. I don't have it in.
But I tell people they put it all together at the right time, okay?
The right time.
You got a head coach. It took 5 or 6 years.
Right.
You got a great GM in there, right? You have ownership that's willing to go ahead, ball out, spend the money, right? Then you get a quarterback that comes into a system with an offensive genius.
Right.
Right? And a plethora of weapons to choose from.
Yep. Everything just lined up.
From my standpoint, even the Mahomes deal, I recognize that this is the Cowboys only.
Right.
But Cowboys fans only.
Yeah.
But my attitude is you don't pay a player for what they have done.
Right.
You pay them for what they will do.
Exactly.
And I will tell you that is a fatal flaw for the Dallas Cowboys. It has always been that way.
Exactly.
We pay people for what we believe they have done and not for what's ahead and still to come.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I would like for Dak to get some deal at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I know people want to complain, oh, he's not this or he's not that.
Mm-hmm.
Dak is good enough for us to win.
Exactly. And he's shown it the past 3 games. I don't know what anyone else needs to see from Dak Prescott to think he's not worth the money. He's a leader on and off the field. The team rallies around him, and he's fully capable on the field. They feel like, they want to downplay him. And I feel like, you kind of witnessed this here in Kansas City as well, kind of the Alex Smith treatment. Like, a lot of people, Chiefs fans, they couldn't stand Alex Smith, but Alex Smith will always give you an opportunity to win the ball game. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't fancy, and I don't care. If Dak throws for 400, great. If he throws for 97 yards like Lamar Jackson did on Monday night or Sunday night, whenever that was, no one complained about that. And so I feel like if Dak Prescott just win the game, as Cowboys fans, I just want you to win the game. I don't care how you get it done, but I feel like Dak is capable. My biggest problem about being jealous with the Chiefs Super Bowl was that it was in Miami and it was like nice and it was right before the COVID thing kind of happened. So I missed out on that opportunity, but I'm trying to get back to Tampa in February so Cowboys don't let me down. Let's see. Mike Nolan's game plan seems to be complex, making players do stuff they aren't used to, like standing up at the line instead of being a 3-point stance. Yeah, I think it is kind of complex, but we wanted that. I mean, the biggest drawback from Marinelli last year, it was too predictable. Jason Garrett was too predictable. So they're switching things up a little bit, but it's going to take some time. Like I keep telling everyone, this team is really going to start to see the momentum probably around week 6, week 7-ish. I feel like after we beat Philly and then after we beat the Steelers, that's when we'll kind of see this Cowboys team come into true formation. So stay tuned, but we still have a lot of cleanup work to do. We will make a run.
9-7 and win the Super Bowl.
9-7. Yeah, because they got the Jason Garrett rule, so they're gonna let us in even if we're 8-8. We're still gonna get in for the extra playoff. And like I said on Monday, this is a scary team to see in the playoffs, especially if we're fully healthy. If we were to get Van Der Esch back, Sean Lee, and some of those guys tuned back in.
Oh, Van Der Esch is like the new Sean Lee, ain't he?
Yeah, he is, and it hurts to say that because I was so excited. Well, honestly, my biggest blow this season is when Blake Jarwin went down. When Blake Jarwin went down, I just felt numb, like, because I had so high expectations for this kid for this season. So when he went down, then Van Der Esch went down, it was just like, here we go. And then I'm not sure Sean Lee's still on injury reserve. Will he be back? Who knows? But
my biggest thing is this: play well enough, right? Getting into about November, December,
right?
Just get hot late,
right?
Stay healthy and win. That's right. All you got to do. Right. The best team, week 1, rarely wins the Super Bowl.
Right.
Because it's the one that's 3-0. The best.
We were 3-0 last year. 3-0 last year, and look at us. So.
So if I gotta hold out a little time and wait for some wins, I'll do it. I'll take it. Whatever. Exactly. Just start winning late in the season.
Exactly. And then one of the last things, Randy Gregory's on track. I think Mike McCarthy said earlier today that he looks like he's well conditioned, he's ready to go. So I think he has 2 more weeks to be out. So I think Randy Gregory, if he's able to come back, then that'll be an extra, weapon that we can bring to our defense. So we just got to hold things together, guys, until we can get healthy and get back. But I feel like the trajectory and the hope for Dallas Cowboys is looking on the up and up. Mr. Personality Eagles fan, beat playoff caliber teams. That would be a start. Okay. You guys do the same. Take your own advice. La'el Collins was a huge loss. Yeah, I feel like losing La'el, especially after we gave him that contract, the right tackle position. But La'el Collins isn't as huge of a loss if Tyron Smith is able to play, because I think they can do some shifting around on that end. So let's quickly go into Sunday's matchup. I'm not going to keep you here all night because it's Friday. And so let's see here. So let's go. Some of my keys to beating the Cleveland Browns, the dog pound. All right. So number 1, protect the ball. Let's limit all the turnovers, the mistakes that you've spoken about, Dia. Let's limit those mistakes. Secondly, stop the run. We have to stop the run.
Oh, God.
Yeah. We have to stop Chubb, and we have to stop that old chief of Kareem Hunt. They're great at using their 2 running backs.
Is hard to tackle.
He is. And so when you're able to run the ball effectively, it wears teams down when you get into the 4th quarter. And what that will allow Baker Mayfield to start doing is using the play action. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is maybe a little bit limited this week, but who knows? But they still got Jarvis Landry, who's a little bit hobbled as well. But you don't want to let them get the run established. So which goes into my 3rd one, dominate the line of scrimmage, but not only on the defensive side of the ball, but also on the offensive side of the ball. If we can start just playing that Cowboys football, dominate with our O-line, our D-line, I think we'll be great. And then, Dia, you said this earlier, play with a sense of urgency. We don't have to get down 20 points for us to decide we want to strike down the field. This first play, Mike McCarthy. Play action to Zeke, throw it deep to Amari Cooper.
There we go. Touchdown.
That's what I'm calling.
To your point, another reason why I think it is important to establish a run, get creative with Zeke. You have to make these defenses respect you, right?
Exactly.
So if you're pounding them with the run, you said it perfectly. It opens up the play action, and you have an amazing receiver core who can go down there and get it. So for me, is it a little more risky? Yeah, but y'all got to work this out, because my blood pressure is too high every Sunday.
For some reason, Sunday, my heart was pounding the entire game. And I think it's because now, I was on the Fan to Fan Network doing the pregame show with the Seattle guys. And so they were talking. So I started hyping the Cowboys out. I was like, man, you guys got to hold me down. So I was on edge that entire game. I was looking at my Apple Watch and my heart was pounding. I was like, I need to get things together. But Cowboys, I'm ready for just a peaceful Sunday where I can kick back, hang out with the family. We're up by 20. Don't have to worry too much. But these past 3 games have been extremely stressful. I mean, I can't take it. I wanted football season back, but not like this. Not like this. Let's have an easy win on Sunday and definitely take care of business. So, speaking of Sunday, I have to ask you before I let you go, what's your prediction for Sunday's game?
I think it's going to be closer than people would like. Okay. I'm sorry to inform you. I think Myles Garrett might have a day. which is bad for us. But all things aside, I never bet against my Dallas Cowboys. So I think this may be a high scoring game again. So let's go. I'm thinking 31, 24. Yeah. I think we can. I think here's the thing. I worry more about the offensive line protecting Dak in this game than anything else. I think we'll do okay containing the run. I'm not too worried about Mayfield, but I do feel like if Dak is running for his life the entire game, like we saw this past Sunday, it's bad news. It's bad news.
Right, exactly. And I feel like, also Cleveland has one of the guys who was like a nightmare for Dak Prescott when he played for Atlanta, Adrian Claiborne, when he gave up, 4 or 5 sacks that game. So they have a solid D-line, but I think, like I said, now that Tyron Smith is back, I'm a little bit more decompressed. Like, okay, now granted, it's a neck injury, and we all know what necks. In one play, and he could be out. So I'm not taking that for granted. But I feel like
with the saga with Tony Romo.
Yeah, exactly. The Tony Romo, the collarbone, the neck, the back, just everything falling apart. And so I feel like, though, with Tyron Smith coming back, I'm a little bit more at ease. But I feel like also the defensive side of the ball, secondary, we definitely have to figure things out. Cannot give up big plays because we know Odell Beckham Jr., we know Jarvis Landry. Those guys are going to come to play. Why? Because we're going to have 30,000 people in the stands. Like, these players don't get to play in front of fans that much this season, so they're going to want to show out. They're going to want to play. They're going to be.
And everybody loves to prove their case.
Exactly. At Dallas. At Dallas. It's prime time. Everybody will be watching, of course, and so they definitely want to step up. I had the same exact score. I had 31-24 for Dallas. That's what I said on Monday when I was going through everything, and after I broke down film on the Browns. I feel like we're going to be able to score if you protect Dak. I feel like our defense, unfortunately, might give up a few plays. It just is what it is at this point.
They have a good offense. That's understandable.
But I'll say this. The one thing that concerns me, and I said this on Sid's show the other day, special teams. Us missing extra points, and with Zuerlein, that has to go because we thought we got rid of that last year when we went from Brett Maher to Cobra Kai because Forbath was able to have his consistency in the kicking game. I don't think he misses a Dallas Cowboy. So we cut him, and then we bring in the guy from Zuerlein, and he's been shanky. Yes, those same problems. So things like that can definitely cost the game and put you in a place where it's hard to come back. And we saw last week we could have been down by 5 on that last drive, but no, we missed 2 extra points. And so special teams. They've had critical errors, whether it's a fake punt, whether it's Tony Pollard fumbling on the kickoff. There's different things with special teams. So we definitely had to shore that up. But I feel like this Dallas Cowboys team is talented enough to still win this ball game. And so I'm hoping we come out with the win. But Dia, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a blast. So once again, for the people who are just now tuning in, tell them where they can find you.
Hey, what's up? If you're in Kansas City, I work at 41 Action News, which is the NBC affiliate. You can catch us every Sunday night because we have the Sunday night games. More Cowboys games than other teams in the league. Exactly. But I'll just put that out there. But yeah, so I am on Twitter at Dia Wall. I'm on Instagram, which is just at Dia Wall12 because some random person stole Dia Wall. It's not even active. Yes, I'm bitter.
Right.
But yeah, feel free to hit me up. I tweet Cowboys every Sunday, even if the Chiefs play. I don't live tweet Chiefs games just because I'm a Cowboys fan, but It has been a blast. So thanks for having me.
I appreciate you for coming on. And like guys, you know me. Go ahead and follow me. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone for subscribing. The numbers have been going up. Tomorrow we have a show. We're going to bring on some Browns guys. So it's going to be me and Sid. We're going to take on the dog pound for you guys. So don't miss that show. And then also Sunday morning I'll be with the Fan to Fan Network doing the pregame tailgate, doing my predictions. And then also tomorrow night I'll be with Darren Smith going over my weekly predictions. So a lot of content coming your guys' way. Also follow me on Twitter at jtuck151. And then, of course, CowboysFansOnly.com for all your CFO merchandise. Man, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like I said, we're going to have a great Sunday. We're going to come out with a win. And like I always end the show, I want everyone to stay blessed, stay safe, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace out, everybody.